now presenting Ryan Henson. Right.
Creighton, rhymes with Dayton, Ohio. Hi everybody. Toe Jam is the Toronto Independent Game Jam. It's an annual event where the city's game developers get together and they make games over a single weekend. This year it had 400 participants. It's pretty cool. Last year I worked with my daughter, Cassandra, who was then 5 years old. We collaborated on a game called Sissy's Magical Ponycorn Adventure. She did all the graphics in crayon, which we scanned in. She did the voiceover. And I did all the other stuff that makes it a game. It was really popular and was a really big hit for us. So that was super. Usually, I mean, that was my 6th Toe Jam. I usually work solo. That was the first time I worked with a partner. That's usually how Toe Jam goes. You usually work in groups of maybe 2 or 3. It's usually a programmer and an artist, 2 programmers, 1 artist, whatever. You never want to do more than really 2 or 3 people because that spells doom. So it's a bad plan. Just before Toe Jam this year, a couple of guys from Golden Gear Games did a presentation called Toe Jam Postmortem, where they said they're giving people tips on Toe Jam. And they said they had 1 year where they had 4 artists and 4 programmers, and it was a nightmare, and the people didn't talk to each other. Never, ever, ever do that. I thought, 8 people, you guys are suckers. Why would you ever do that? Then I thought, well, couldn't they have used like a project manager to facilitate communication, make sure everyone was on time, maybe a producer to remove problems? You can't read that, it's just an org chart. I thought, you know, maybe 8 people wasn't too few people, maybe it was not enough people for a jam. So then I created this thing called Project Overboard, which aspired to be the largest game jam team in history. We wanted to have everybody you possibly ever need to make a game, including marketing people, producing people, documentarians to record the whole thing and slap that whole thing together. Here are a few people from the team. We wanted to sell the game, but I didn't know what to do with the money. Do you split it up so everyone gets 30 cents? Toe Jam co-founder Jim McGinley said, well, why don't you give it to charity? And I thought that was a cool idea. So we partnered with the Foundation for Student Success, which is the charitable arm of the Toronto District School Board. We're going to use the money that we make from selling the game to send at-risk Toronto youth to computer camp. This is a school that we partnered with, Rose Avenue Junior Public in St. Jamestown, which at 25,000 people is the most populous neighborhood in North America. I don't think that elementary schools are doing a great job of teaching computer skills to rich kids. So you can imagine what poor kids are doing with computers. A lot of them can't afford a computer at home, so they're getting left way, way behind, as opposed to rich kids who are just merely left behind. I think it's really important that we teach our kids how to use computers, because when you relegate everything to a simple button and it's really easy to do, you get Skynet. Right? You can't even repair a car these days because everything's computerized. So nuts to that. So off we went with our massive team at Toe Jam, and I wrote this game design document for a game called Head of the Gorgon, which is a retelling of the Perseus myth. That's the guy who cuts off Medusa's head, you know, she turns people to stone. And everyone agreed that we were just going to follow this, and the style that we used was black figure Grecian pottery, like the ancient pots you see at like the Wrong. We went with that style. This, by the way, is not from our game. This is Chuck Norris killing Medusa. We went with that style because we wouldn't need an art director. We could just look at the ancient Greek pots and have all this material to draw from, which was copyright free, so we could steal it at will. And also the silhouettes are very forgiving when you're doing animation. So off we went. It was really important because a lot of our people, we did a tally of all the people on the team, and only 3 of us had ever done a game jam before. Our animators had just used Flash for like the first time 2 weeks ago. We had 4 animators in that sort of position, so a bunch of really, really green people on the team. This is some of the people. In the end, we assembled a team of 38 people to work on Head of the Gorgon. Here are a few of them. The people that you don't see pictured are in the audience. There's Michelangelo. And they were across town recording voiceover for the game. They were writing music for the game. They were the marketing people putting together the website for the game 2 weeks prior to Toe Jam. What did we do? At the end of it, we didn't finish the game. We got pretty much content complete. We got all of our assets drawn. We had the whole thing voiced over. We had a quarter of the game. If it's in 4 parts, we had the first part playable by the end of the jam. And since then, I've been working really hard to piece everything together. Here are a few screenshots from the game, so you can see some sea monsters and some magic goodies from the gods going on there. It's a pretty fun game. It's a comedy too, I might mention. So it's turning out to be really, really neat. So you might think, well, what the heck was the point if we didn't get the game done? What was the point of assembling a whole studio and working this hard over a weekend? And it's that people come to my company, Untold Entertainment, and we're usually only 1 or 2 people, and they say, can you do this project? How many people are you? And I said, well, we're 1 or 2 people, and they move on. I showed here that I could assemble a whole studio in 2 weeks' time. It's also really cool because we were able to give opportunities to people who wouldn't normally be able to participate in a game jam, people like producers and PMs, when usually it was only the artists and programmers who get to be involved. And of course, it was really important for the kids who are going to benefit from the charitable donations we're giving out at the sales of these games, because these are kids who, as I said, can't necessarily even afford a computer, so now they get to go to computer camp and be enriched in that sort of stuff that we've been enjoying all our lives. So Head of the Gorgon is going to be available on the App Store soon, and as a downloadable for PC and Mac. You can check out our progress at projectoverboard.com. Thanks, everyone.